Hi everybody, welcome to the aoe2 AI scripting tutorial video number 4. Today we're going to see how to install the XML file for better script readability in Notepad++, a quick recap on how the AI reads the script, and scouting using level 3 programming. How to install an XML file for Notepad++. We click on the link 3 in the description of the video. There are two methods: download or copy the XML file, for instance, to your desktop. I will show you the copy method in case you don't have a Google account. You copy all this, open a new tab in your Notepad++ and save, for instance, on your desktop, aoe2 script lang notepad++ important.xml. See that file type is saved as all file types. Save. Close this. In Notepad++, go to the menu Language, hover over User-Defined Language, click on Define Your Language, click on Import, click on the file you have just downloaded or created, click on Open. Import successful. Okay. Close all this. Reopen Notepad++. This is how the script looks till now. We click on Language. Click on aoe2. And this is how it looks with the XML file added. Every new pad you start, you only have to do the following: click on menu Language and click on the aoe2 file. This is my AI, looks terrible. Language aoe2 looks a lot clearer. A quick recap on how the AI reads the script. The AI reads the script from top to bottom. It executes all the def rules which are true. It skips all the def rules which are false. Then it repeats from the top and rechecks facts to see if anything has changed. In other words, it goes from def rule to def rule, executing a def rule which is true once, going to the next def rule to the bottom before repeating. It doesn't get stuck repeating this def rule over and over. It will first go to the bottom, repeat, and then re-execute this def rule. We can test this by commenting out disable self. The semicolon, point comma, is used to comment out things or to add comments. For ease sake, I'm just going to comment out the ones which are true. I have made two new def rules with civilian population 100 and military population 10. This is because I've created a small scenario which will be used in a minute. We first check, don't forget to save. And then we restart. And you see, it executes the def rules one by one, going to the bottom before repeating from the top. We will uncomment this again. Save. and it executes it once. It says, hi, my name is Tutorial AI. I have 100 villages. I have 10 military units. Indeed, I have made a scenario with 100 villages and 10 scouts to go on to the scouting programming demonstration. Remember the programming levels or programming hierarchy. We have already done some level 1 basic programming level programming. For scouting, we're going to use some level 3 parameter level programming with strategic numbers. To set up rudimentary scouting, we need some level 3 programming via strategic numbers. Strategic numbers adjust the internal AI parameters which determines or influences the AI's behavior. Strategic numbers can be changed throughout the game, which will also change the AI's behavior. Very important, strategic numbers are automatically set to a certain default value, if not manually set in the script. It is important to know what these default values are to fully understand the AI's behavior. To set a strategic number, we have to use following syntax. Set strategic number, the strategic number, and then the number you want to set the strategic number to. We often use the disable self action to stop setting strategic numbers all game long, as this might cause erratic behavior of the AI. Don't worry yet where to find these strategic numbers. In a future video we will look at where you can find this information. First we will study our little scenario. So we restart again. We see we have 2 villages out of the 100 scouting, 98 idle villages. None of the military units are scouting. Why is this? This is because there is a strategic number, SN caps civilian explorers. What does this do? Caps the number of civilian explorers allocated, factored in after the percentage is calculated, ignored when set to -1. The default value is set to 2, hence the 2 villages exploring. Now let's try and set it to -1 and see what happens. We create def rule, which is true. Don't forget the arrow. Set strategic number, SN cap civilian explorers -1, disable self, close brackets. Don't forget to save. We go back to our little scenario, we restart and see what happens. Now we see 4 villagers exploring, which is already better than the 2 villages, but still, why aren't the other 96 villagers exploring? This is because of another strategic number called SN total number explorers. This caps the total number of land explorers allocated, factored in after the percentage of civilian explorers is calculated and the soldier groups are set up, ignored when set to -1. This is important. The default is set to 4. This is why only 4 villagers go scouting. So let's try and set this to -1. SN total number explorers -1. Don't forget to save. Go back to our little scenario and we restart. No villagers and no units are exploring. Let's try 100. If set to -1, no explorers are activated. Ascend total number explorers 100. Don't forget to save. We restart our little scenario. Let's see what happens. We see that out of 100, 66 villagers stay idle, which means 34 villagers go exploring. 34 villagers, no scouts. Why is this? We have yet another strategic number. Ascend% civilian explorers controls the normal formula-based percentage of civilian explorers allocated. The default is set to 34, hence 34 out of 100 villagers go exploring. Let's try and set this at 50. Ascend% civilian explorers 50. Don't forget to save. Restart our tutorial. Now we see 50 villagers exploring, 50 villagers stay idle. None of the scouting units started exploring. Let's have a look at some more strategic numbers. Strategic number explore groups. Sets the desired number of land-based soldier exploration groups. The default is set to 0. Let's try 5. Don't forget to save. Restart. We see 50 villagers exploring. 1, 2, 3, 4 scouts. 5 scouts exploring. 5 scouts are left. This is very interesting. We have now the main strategic numbers to control the scouting of villagers and military units. Now what do we want? On a standard map, we will have a look at Nomad and special maps in a future video. We want to explore with the scouting unit. We want to explore with the villagers until sheep have been found. Tip: put in debug chats so you can follow the execution of setting strategic numbers. To not send to other players and to be able to read these texts in recordings, use the following syntax. Chatter player, my player number, your text. So, step 1. Initializing scouting with villagers and scouts. We set the def rule to true. We want all civilian explorers exploring. Percent civilian explorers set to 100. Cap civilian explorers on a normal map 10 should suffice. We want military exploring also. Explore groups to 1, seeing that there's usually 1 scouting unit. And the total number of explorers, for math reasons, we'll put 11, which is maximum 10 civilians plus the 1 scouting unit. Disable self. This will initiate the scouting with all your villagers and the scout at the start of a game. Don't forget to save, and we can demonstrate this The scout starts exploring, the villagers start exploring, which is what we want. But we want the villagers to go to work once the sheep have been found. So, how do we detect the finding of sheep or turkeys? We have to use a unit ID for livestock in this case, which is 958. Don't worry about the unit IDs, we'll come to this in a future video. The syntax to test this fact is unit type count 958 is greater than 0. Remember, it's not comparing if 958 is greater than 0, it's comparing if the count of the number of units of type sheep or turkeys is greater than 0. How do we put this in a def rule? Def rule, a fact unit type count 958 is greater than 0. So if it finds a sheep, we want to stop exploring with the villagers but keep exploring with the scout. What does this mean? We need first stop the villagers exploring, set %% civilian explorers to 0. So we copy this line, set it to 0. Cap civilian explorers also to 0. We need to keep military exploring. We don't have to copy paste this, but it's good to do this in case in future we add on to the programming. The civilian plus military total of explorers is expressed in the strategic number total number of explorers, which is this, and we set this also to 1. We mustn't forget the disable self to not confuse the AI. Close a bracket, don't forget to save. Let's see if it does what we want it to do. The scout is exploring, the villagers are exploring because no sheep have been found. Sheep have been found, villagers stop exploring, the scout continues to explore, and the villagers start their gathering. The scout continues to explore all game long. This is how to set up exploring and scouting for a standard map. We will set up now the debugging chat. This is good to do to be able to follow what your AI is executing. Set up scouting, villagers plus scout. Chat to player, my player number, copy paste that. Found livestock. Stop exploring with villagers. Don't forget to save. I have set up a Yucatan map with turkeys and a meso sieve to see that the code also works as smoothly. We see set up scouting villagers plus scout and found livestock stop exploring with villagers. Now I was wondering why with 4 villagers and 1 scout it didn't say I have 4 villagers and 1 scout as we set up in the dev rules in video 3. This is because I've been playing around with the AI. This has to be modified to population equals 5. Save, restart. Hi, my name is Tutorial. I have 4 villages, 1 scouting unit. Set up scouting villages and scout, and then find livestock, stop exploring with villagers. All works well now. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.